Hello, everybody! Welcome back to Execute Run Interview Episode 6. We're finally back. I have a few other interviews queued up, and I also have a Discord now. For everybody that is interested in being the first one notified, be sure to join the Discord. It's going to be in the description down below. I was recording the wrong monitor this episode, so thankfully I have a mishmash of different footage. Anyways, be sure to enjoy this episode with our special guest, with Chopper! Hello, Chopper. How are you?
Hey, I'm good.
Good, that's good. Do you want to explain a bit to everybody who you are, what you do?
Yeah, so I guess I'm a realms map maker. That is my primary thing. I make realms maps. I did a lot more in the past. Now I'm focusing more on leading a marketplace team on the Minecraft marketplace. And I still do realms projects in my free time.
That's super cool. Which brings us to our questions. Map making / team management / map jam questions. What do you do as a team manager?
Well, I'm a coordinator of YEGS right now. So YEGS is a pretty hands-off team in terms of leadership. We don't micromanage the team. Everyone just sort of does what they want to do. But as a team manager, I mostly just help people organize their projects and help with the servers and whatnot. That's also Connor's job. But and I help get people interested in the projects. And of course, I publish them when they're finished.
Sweet, sweet. Do you want to explain a bit what YEGS is for the people that are not too familiar with it?
Yeah. So I think YEGS is the largest realms map making team at this point. We've published like 20 plus realms maps on the Minecraft Realms service. And we also have a Bedrock team where we produce content for the Minecraft marketplace. And I guess we also do some work for YouTubers, but that's fairly small compared to those other things.
I think that's new, right? The YouTuber work?
We did more of it actually in the past, but now we only do it with a few YouTubers. It used to be a bigger thing, but not so much anymore.
Yeah. So what do you look for when reviewing maps for Java Realms? Like, I assume you overlook the maps before publishing them?
Yeah. Well, they need to be a certain quality, of course, because Realms has a quality standard, but more importantly, we want YEGS to have its own quality standard so that our maps are not trash-dig level trash. But yeah, so the gameplay generally needs to be fun. Like, if it's just not fun to play, we don't want to publish it, even if it's flashy. We're not super strict on like it being a super ambitious map. If people just want to make a fun little map, then that's cool with us. But yeah, as long as it's functional, not really any bugs, and it's fun to play, then yeah, we'd love to publish it.
Alright, sweet. So, now, what do you look for when reviewing Bedrock maps? Because that's completely different, or not Bedrock maps, but just Bedrock content as a whole.
Yeah, that's definitely very different. The most important factor there is it needs to be marketable to kids. Unfortunately, we can't really sustain ourselves if it's not like something that kids would want to buy. So we have to make sure it's either trendy or topical or just something that appeals to kids, whether it's like a small little game or a skin pack. And of course, we want the quality to be high, but we're a little bit limited on the quality just because Bedrock is not the easiest platform to use for quality content.
Yeah, completely. Now, what's the map jam? Because I believe you and a few other teams on Realms do that, map jams every now and then?
Yep. Yeah, so the map jam actually started with my previous team, Vertex Creations. We thought it would be cool to sort of bring a game jam idea into Minecraft. So a game jam is where you make a game in a short amount of time, like 48 hours. So what we decided is we could do a map jam where you make a map, like a mini game or something, in just 72 hours. And we did that. It started pretty small, but in YEGS we've done it about every season or so, every 3 months, and it's just grown bigger and bigger. And it's a great community event where map makers, both skilled and new map makers, can come together and create their own maps in a short amount of time. And then we usually do some kind of voting or competition to see which map is the best.
Yeah, that's completely fair. I know there's a few judges for judging map jams, but how do you approach judging map jams?
Yeah, so when I'm judging map jam maps, I generally focus most on how fun it is to play. Uh, since obviously they're made in 72 hours, there are going to be bugs and stuff. So I try to not take off too many points if there are bugs, since that's expected. But if the game is unique, if it's creative, and of course if it's fun, then that I would consider that a successful map jam map.
Yeah, completely. My bad. Uh, about 2 questions now. What is your favorite part?
Yeah.
What is your favorite map you participate in, and what is the map about?
Recently, I would have to say Gladiator games. It's just one of the most creative and fun maps that I've seen released recently. It's basically a twist on the generic PvP combat game mode where you obviously you fight against other players in combat, but if you die, then you actually get sent to like a gladiator pit where you have to defeat another dead player, and if you can defeat them in parkour or PvP or whatever the competition is, then you can respawn and you join your killer's team. So it's just it's fairly simple in concept, but the gameplay is very different compared to most other combat games.
Okay. Where can people find this map specifically?
That's a good question. I think it's on Realms, and it might be on. I think it's on Planet Minecraft too. I'm not sure if it's on any website like Yegs or
Sweet.
anything, but it's definitely on Realms.
Sweet, sweet. Yeah. When did you start map making for Minecraft?
I actually started in 2013 when I was 9 years old, a
Jeez.
very long time ago.
Sweet. When did you first start playing Minecraft?
That was also in 2013,
That makes
so
sense.
I basically just started. Yeah, I started playing Minecraft when I was 9 or so, and then a few months later, I was like, "Oh, hey, I can make games in this," and then suddenly I was making a bunch of maps. They were not very good, but yeah, that's where I got my start.
That's crazy. What was your first game that you published back in 2013? Or not published, but just made?
I have, yeah, I have no idea. I know I made like a really simple mob arena and kit PvP game. My first published map is probably a Find the Button map, but not
The
totally sure. It
classic.
was so long
Yeah.
ago. Yeah, the classic Find the Button.
Which was your first map making team / when you joined or created? Like Realms map making team.
Yeah, so when I was maybe 12 or so, I created my map making team, Team CCR, which stands for Choppercraft Community Realms. And that's because it was basically just me and my Realms friends who played on my realm, and we decided we can make some maps because I know command blocks and they can build, sort of, not really. But yeah, that became a map making team. We got a Discord server and everything, and then we started making maps for realms. I think we published 3 or 4 maps on realms before we kind of dissolved. But yeah, that was my first map making team.
Sweet. So like at the beginning of Realms, basically, like 2015, right?
Yeah, that was 2016 or maybe
Okay.
2017. That was quite a while ago.
Still, yeah, that's crazy. What part of map making do you specialize in?
I do technical stuff generally. I started with command blocks way back in 1.8, and now I do functions since they're just generally better to work with.
Sweet.
I wouldn't say I'm the most advanced in terms of technical Minecraft. I'm actually not that great, but it's way better than my build skills. So.
That's completely fair. Do you do the same thing for Bedrock? Because I know Bedrock is not functions.
Yeah, yeah, Bedrock has functions, but it's more entity based. There's behavior packs and stuff like that to control entity behavior. I do a little bit of that, but I'm also fairly new to that. So most of the technical stuff that EX does is done by other Bedrock coders,
Okay.
although I do some of it.
Sweet, sweet. Which game version did you start in? Pocket Edition, Java, Xbox, etc.
I actually started on Java because I did not have a phone or any console, so I just played on my dad's laptop.
That's awesome. Um,
Yeah,
do you create things outside of Minecraft, like art, engineering, anything else?
well, I am studying computer science, and I've sort of done some small programming projects and whatnot over the past few years, just because it's piqued my interest. That's pretty much it. Basically, I just took my Minecraft coding skills and brought it into real life, and that's what I like
Do you
doing.
think that your Minecraft interest in command blocks and all of that brought you to that?
Yeah, definitely. I don't think I would have been interested in coding at all if not for Minecraft. I really had no interest in computers or video games or anything until then.
Cool. All right. Um, what is a map making feature do you think is missing from Minecraft as a whole? From Java Minecraft?
Well, there's a lot of different yeah, there's a lot of different things we can talk about here, but I would have to say people are spamming chat with their suggestions, but I would say slash motion or some kind of way to control player motion is one of the most important or most impactful features that could be added. And the reason I say that is because that's one of the most limited things in terms of Minecraft tech is moving the player around the game. I feel like if some convenient and easy ways were added to move players around, then that would bring up a lot of new concepts that could be introduced in Minecraft. I think it would make it a lot more of a robust game engine almost um, for Minecraft maps compared to something like Unity, where you can obviously have a lot more control over the player.
Lately, I mean, there is some ways to do that right now, but it's a very hard workaround, and it's
Yeah,
hard on the server.
yeah, they're laggy and they're not very good. There's usually um, interpolation and stuff like that. It's just not good.
Yeah. What do you think the next update will be after the 1.19 teased what is it? Update
Yeah.
and update again?
Well, in 1.20 there or 1.19 there's the wild
Yeah, but the
update I
one
think.
after
So
that. Yeah.
1.20, yeah, I'm guessing they're gonna stick with the theme of updating biomes and updating the overworld. So my guess would be next is gonna be the desert. It's gotten basically no love over the past decade, so I would guess some kind of desert update.
They were talking like the biome update from like biome vote from Super like 2017, I think it was. They were talking about
Oh
updating
yeah,
the
yeah.
savannah and all of that. So possibly it'll be in that.
Yeah, maybe some kind of desert savanna biome update would be really cool.
Yeah. I mean, what they have for the swamps right now is awesome as well. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, that does look cool.
Now for more general map making questions. Where do you think? Where do you get your inspiration for your maps?
Well, I always seem to have a few ideas in the back of my head, but when I really have no ideas, some places I look are the Steam game store, because usually there's some cool concepts on there that I can sort of adapt into Minecraft. Also, just the App Store, and in the past, I've used Mario Party games, like mini games from Mario
Yeah.
Party, which are surprisingly, a lot of them are surprisingly good as Minecraft maps,
Oh, that's awesome.
little mini games.
What do you think is the best styles of maps to get started with, just to like experiment or like touch upon it?
Yeah. I would say it depends on what kind of map making you want to do. So, like, if you're going to be a builder and you don't really have any tech friends, you might want to do a parkour or something like that, where it's mostly just builds, not very much tech needed. If you want to do command blocks and that kind of thing, you might be more interested in something like a mob arena or a PvP game, because those are fairly simple to set up, but you can add a lot of versatility to them. So, it's a great beginner game.
Yeah, completely. Uh, the realm's like whole content creation is a bit obscure, but where do you think would be the best way to find a realms team?
Yeah, so probably the best way is through the maps themselves. A lot of teams tend to link their website or their Discord inside the map. So if you can find that, you can probably join their Discord or something and talk with them, hang out with them. And if you want to join their team, there's usually like a application form on their website or in their Discord. Yeah, there's also the map testing Discord and places like that that sort of serve as a hub for Realms map makers.
Yeah, I mean, if anybody's interested that's watching this episode right now and you'd be interested in joining a map making team, I'll leave the Discord link to Yegs and the map testing Discord in the
Yeah,
in
map
the
testing Discord.
description. So if you guys want to do some realms, just join that. What tools would you
Yeah.
suggest for beginner map makers, like sites, Discord, or plugin?
Well, if you're gonna do builds, then definitely try out World Edit. It's very helpful for making large scale maps, which building by hand is very difficult to do. For tech, probably the best resource is the Minecraft wiki and the Minecraft commands Discord, because you can go to those places if you have any questions or you're stuck on something with Minecraft commands. There's almost always someone who can help you with figuring out what you need to do. But yeah, mostly just learning by trial and error, and then using those sorts of resources. That's how I learned, and that's I think how most people learn.
Really. And I'll add upon that, there's also the map testing Discord that we mentioned previously, which is also a very
Yep.
good tool that if they can't help you themselves, they'll
Yep.
just link you to a Discord that will help you with that. So,
Yeah, definitely. You can test your maps
yeah,
there.
completely. I love Realms kicking me. Uh, what's the biggest difference between map making on Realms and map making on the Bedrock Marketplace? What do you think?
Well, I think I touched on this earlier, but marketplace, it needs to be a lot more business oriented. It has to be marketable to kids. So it's not so much passion projects, although there are definitely passion projects on Bedrock. It's more about what can we make that kids will like, what can we make that will sell well. But still, there's lots of room for creativity. And then for Realms, it's a lot more passion driven. It's self motivated. If you have a cool concept you want to make, you'll probably make it for Realms, not for Bedrock. It's a lot more creativity driven. Yeah.
That's fair. And especially now with the trial of both versions, or it's not even a trial anymore. They just give you Java if you have Bedrock, or Bedrock if you have Java. You can
Yep.
test out both tools, but you do have to have a computer though.
Yep.
So that's kind of the downside to
Yep.
that. But you can touch on both things, and they do have their kinks and quirks for both of them.
Yeah. For Bedrock map making, I know there is a community that does map making in Bedrock, not for Marketplace. And that, yeah, you can definitely participate in that. Although I would say there's a lot less resources available if you want to get into that. But there is some cool stuff you can do, especially because there's a lot of map making things you can do in Bedrock that are just not possible in Java.
Yeah. Is there any like public Discords you would advertise for that? Because I didn't know about that myself.
Yeah, there's the Bedrock add-ons Discord. There's a few Discords like that. I can have you link in the
Yep,
description as
I'll
well.
just link those in the description. Yeah, if you're interested at all in any map making thing, I'll link a bunch of servers in the description where you can just join whatever you'd like. How do you keep motivation for your maps? I know it's a bit hard because, especially for Realms, if you're not doing it for like
Yeah.
a monetary gain, you just jump from project to project.
Yeah, well, there's not really any silver bullet for being motivated on Minecraft maps, but typically what I try to do is plan out what you want from the map, like what vision you have for that map before you even make it. So then, while you're working on it, you can kind of see, are you reaching that vision, or do you need to revise things? And if you have a clear goal in mind, then it's a lot easier to work towards that goal than it is to just become overwhelmed in a seemingly endless number of tasks, and you don't even know when the map will be done. But yeah, if you're working on Java maps for Realms, chances are you're going to have some abandoned projects just because you realize halfway through that this map isn't working out. You don't like the concept anymore, and that's fine. You should not limit yourself to finishing that map. You should definitely try to make new maps if you lost interest in the one you're working on.
Yeah, completely. Should you start your first maps alone or with a team? Like a team as in friends or like a whole, well, Yags or
Yeah.
something?
Yeah, it probably depends on if you know people who are interested in Minecraft maps. If you have a group of friends and you all want to try out making Minecraft maps, then yeah, definitely work together. But if you're just a loner, you don't really know anyone who's a beginner to Minecraft map making, maybe good to start off on your own, because most likely if you want to join like a big team, you'll have to have some kind of portfolio already. So yeah, if you don't have any friends to work with, there's lots of maps you can make by yourself. That's how I got it started too.
Where should you publish your maps? Like I know there's the Atlas program or Realms as it's known, but besides that, where else would you
Yeah.
suggest publishing your maps?
Yeah, so I wouldn't say there's really any one good place to publish a map. There's Planet Minecraft, of course, if you want your map to just be publicly downloadable. But as for like a map that will have a large reach to an audience, there's not really any good place. You can, of course, do MC Maps and MC Creations and those types of websites. Sticky Piston too, but probably the best reach will be on Realms. Yeah.
Maybe post them on Reddit. Yeah, Reddit as well is a tool. But I'd suggest, yeah, mostly Planet
Yeah,
Minecraft is really
you can
good
post from
from
Reddit.
what I've been suggested.
Yep.
There's a bunch of maps, so you will
Yep.
get
That's
a
probably
bit
the best.
overrun with other maps, but there's still a good chance that people will find your maps.
Yep.
Now for my favorite part of every single interview, the super most important questions, which is where we get to know you. Actually get to know you.
Yeah.
Would you drink milk in a bucket or a cauldron?
I feel like I'm gonna have to go ahead and bring a third option in. I would much prefer a milk from a bottle. I don't know what kind of person drinks milk from a bucket or a cauldron,
You
but I will
drink
stick to
milk
my
from
milk
a
in a bottle.
bottle? What?
Yeah,
Like
I
a
mean,
water
why
bottle?
not? Yeah, sure, why
That
not?
sounds... That disturbs me more than a bag of milk. But we
I
get
don't
to know
know.
the real you. See? Brings out the real you.
Yes,
Now,
yes,
this is gonna be a
very much.
mouthful. Wax weathered copper... Cut copper slab or weathered cut copper slab?
Well, you just made my point for me. I would much prefer weather cut copper slab just because it's shorter. Less likely to make a fool of myself trying to pronounce it.
Alright. What's the best helmet in the game?
I would have to go with gold helmet just because if you squint really hard, it looks like a crown. And I used to use a gold helmet as a crown because I like to give myself crowns back in
You're
the day.
not a turtle person. Okay.
Nope.
What's the best looking... Sorry. What's the best looking door type? There you go.
Definitely dark oak just because it looks like chocolate, especially the dark oak trapdoors.
Alright.
It just makes me hungry when I see them.
So you want a door that just makes you hungry.
Yes. I don't know why anyone wouldn't.
That makes sense. Alright, well, thank you very much for answering all these questions. Thank you all for
Yeah.
listening on to this. All the links that we've mentioned, all the discords that we've mentioned are going to be in the description, and I might add some more in there if you're interested in map making or anything.
Yep.
Thank you, Chopper, for coming on and talking about, well, everything.
Yep. Thanks for having me.
See you guys in the next episode.